At this benign blessings of Adi Shankara and with the grace of my Guru with whom I am standing here, I pay the homage to the one and only Shankara whom we can always think and worship about. It gives me immense opportunity to welcome each one of you here, joining hands once again with the Ashya Vidyapeetham, Swami Brahma Vidananda and Swami Brahma Prajna. Thank you for giving us an opportunity because I consider it as a blessing when we have a celebration of this kind in this part of the city. Once again, SIS is blessed by your presence. Thank you so much. We thought of having this kind of a celebration with a little understanding of all of you are spiritual seekers. And to begin or talk about Shankara and the greatness of Shankara, that's what Swamini Brahma Prajna told me to do it today in the context of Advaita Vedanta. Sometimes I wonder, like last few days, the sleepless nights was what? What are we going to talk about Shankara? And who are we? In what context are we going to take him? And how much have we understood him even to culminate to a feeling that we have understood Shankara very well? The advantage I have is a PhD thesis on Advaita Vedanta, and therefore very vehemently we could argue in the class in terms of Vedanta and the debates. At the other side, a passionate lover of Shankara, and therefore that also brought me much closer or proximity with him. And a lot of lessons and jnana yajnas under Swamiji's only made it feeling that this life is not enough. As Shankara had himself said it in his writings that Ardha Shlokena Pravakshyami Sara Grantha Koti Bihi. Even the Sara Grantha Koti, if I'm going to put it in just half a verse, he says Brahmam Satya Jagat Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Na Apara. This Brahman as a Satya, and understanding this world is nothing but a illusory or a kind of an appearance. What is it that we are going to achieve from all this? To talk about this great soul who walked this planet between 780 and 820, in a short spell of time, he has contributed much immensely, a colossal work that he has contributed. Even to comprehend them, it is taking a lifetime for us, and we still feel it is not enough. To talk about the greatness of Shankara per se, it would just mean that his philosophy was not only that he again and again in many of his works, he clearly mentioned that I don't have anything new to offer. Advaita Vedanta is not a new philosophy, very well built in and well settled in the Upanishads, and the entire Gita is an expression of that. What is it new that I'm going to talk about? So in his writings, even in all his Prakarana Granthas and later, and the hymns and many things which have been attributed to him, he has expounded this concept as Brahman as one. Advaita Vedanta, the beauty of it lies is the concept of understanding that just the word Advaita, a non-dualism, is not that there is just one, but one without a second is very important. This idea of not having another in its place is what makes this system extremely profound, intriguing, and highly fascinating. To know that this important principle Brahman is in every soul, in every being, in every species. So all I need to do is only to recognize, acknowledge, and understand this divinity in everyone. So if this understanding is very clear, it becomes easy for us to move on with the world. But many a time, as even Swamiji will agree, that many a time when we take a lot of classes in Advaita Vedanta, ultimately it comes down to a point where we say, well, how can we practice Advaita Vedanta, right? Advaitam, Kevalam, Jnanam, Dvaitam, Vyavaharam is what many of the masters have said. Because Dvaita is easy to do a Vyavahara. But Advaita has to be in the terms of Bhava. And to develop that Bhava is our lifetime charge that we have, which we have to, a challenge that we need to accomplish it constantly. In few lines to summarize the greatness of this great master who walked this planet is a lot of problems at that time existed then. He could solve it in clearly because he was a great philosopher. More than the philosopher, the thinker in him could have that rationale which could satisfy the debates in those times. So he could just conquer them, right from Banaras to the northeast to south up to Sringeri. He could do it to Dwaraka to Puri, all that he could do it. That was the greatest thing that he did. Thirdly, to give dignity to sannyasa, that was very, very important. So that also a sampradaya was created. That was very important. More than the sampradaya, along with that, he continued the idea of a Guru Shishya Parampara. Today, if we call it as an Avichinna Parampara that exists here, which Shankara has left behind in the four Anmaya Pitas, we are able to see that Avichinna Parampara in all of them. So each one of them is a carrier of that light which he lit. In one of his works, he very clearly says that Drishtanto Naiva Drishtam Tribhuvana Jatare Sadguru Jnanadata. In this entire three world, I cannot see a Sadguru because understanding a Sadguru or knowing a Sadguru is very difficult. Ordinary Gurus and so-called Gurus, we have got so many. How am I to understand a Sadguru? Imagine what I cannot fathom every time when I read Shankara and I get passionately involved with him is how did this man could get such kind of examples that suits us today? The young generation will appreciate it more when he says Drishtanto Naiva Drishtam Tribhuvanare Sadguru Jnanadata. Shriyam Samyam, he is talking about a guru. Don't compare a guru with a touchstone, a philosopher's stone. Don't compare him like that. People would have asked him, like even his own Shishyas would have asked him, why not a philosopher's stone? Because the alchemist says that a philosopher's stone is, by the touch of it, it turns into gold. Anything that you touch turns into a gold. Shankara says, don't take a guru to a touchstone. On the contrary, Guru is one much superior. He just simply does not convert a iron or any other thing into a gold. He converts a gold into a gold, everything into a gold. In terms of, he becomes a lamp to light everything. It's not an ordinary thing gets into something different. How does this happen? He creates Shishya and the Shishya becomes Guru tomorrow. It's not that the Shishya remains a Shishya alone. There is no difference between a Shishya and a Guru. That's where the Avichinna Parampara comes. The light that has been lit by him gets continuously followed, taken, and get channelized in each of the generations from the various matas that we have is because that light is still burning. He is able to create another philosopher's stone. He is not creating just another gold or another silver like the alchemist would have talked about it. This kind of an idea that Shankara, being the Sadguru of all times, gives this as an example and says that how great is Sadguru by himself. So, not only that he offers his salutations to Govindapada or to Gaudapada for that matter, but he is able to see that same feeling that he is able to give it to the next generations. So I look at him as the one, a great visionary, one who is able to see that. A great national builder, I would call him. A social reformer of that kind, because he could combine a Shishya from the south and place them in the north, to the east, to the west. All of them, you could combine the entire India got united philosophically, spiritually, because the geographical region and the contours that we had drawn to separate regions, he could just bring all of them. He was a great national builder. What are the politicians doing today? What could be divided is so simple, it's happening. This master could combine everybody, irrespective of caste, creed, class, age, he could just combine all of them. So he was a great national builder. Other thing about greatness comes to my mind is that the logician. He was a great logician. The amount of work that he has done and shown, very, very analytical. The skill with which he has even explained every Vada and the counter Vada against all the debaters. And then the Buddhist and the Jaina and the other tradition, the Mimamsakas, the Bhattas, against all of them. He could do that because of the logical skill that he had. A penetrating intellect, a phenomenal mind and a compassionate heart. What a combination. And therefore he could just shed tears in front of talking about Saundaryalahari. Shiva Shaktya Yukto Yeti Bhavati Shakta Prabhavitum. Shiva and Shakti coming together as one. How can I not worship this great deity as the greatest mother? Shiva as the greatest deity. So by calling him as a Shanmata Sthapanacharya, 6 deities, perhaps then India looked at all gods and goddesses, a pantheon of gods and goddesses, might have confused the people more whom to worship, how to worship, and where to worship. Shankara was the one who could bring all of them together and put it under 6 headings, like, if we can call it in today's parlance. And this Shanmata Sthapanacharya brought the Smarta system in India, where one could worship. Again, it could have been a Vaishnava and a Shaiva debates and conflicts. Debate we can understand, conflicts and disputes are very disheartening, but these he could just take it off, and the Smarta community got created where people like us we do not make a difference between a Shiva or a Vishnu. We worship both. We understand the greatness of the both. We don't decry one over the other. All this, a concept very philosophically and spiritually sought, Shankara could do that. And the last, before I conclude, is the uniqueness about the Advaita Vedanta system, which he had kept it. Na bhuto na bhavishyati. It's impossible to think of another soul other than Shankara who could have brought the system easily manageable, not only in the philosophical or intellectual terms, but he could also give it, and it can happen to anyone here, the understanding of the Brahma Anubhava. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati, he says. One who knows Brahman, one who understands it, becomes Brahman. So this becoming of the Brahman, not unlike the becoming which Buddha talks about it, but the becoming of what Shankara talks about it again and again, is that the possibility and the hope with which we live is whether that Advaitic experience, can I have it here and now? And Shankara says, yes, thrice. So this feeling of that the philosophy is alive, extremely exciting, the possibility of understanding and feeling it, living with it, and not a philosophy as an intellectual exercise and only for examination and leaving it aside, but it could be of that. So his works like whether it is the Dakshinamurti Stotram, whether it is Manisha Panchakam or the other Bhashya that he has written on Gita, or Brahma Sutra and all the Upanishads, or the other verses, hymns which over a period of time has been credited to Shankara. Any one of them, you say, the beauty of the language, the poetic feeling that he has got, the language he has used it with a compassionate heart that he has, the humility with which he has put across, which is so difficult to see a person in even I can't even envisage a person of that a great. Japosh Jalpash Shilpam Sakalamapi Mudra Virachina. Even my japa, my shruti, everything he's saying to offering as to the Lord, that you take it as all my offering. Even when I'm just wandering around aimlessly in this world, you consider it as my pradakshana to you. He's ordering it to him. I may be blabbering all the day. You consider it is my stuti to you. A great bhakta can take that liberty with him. I may blabber, what not, but my blabbering is my offering to you. But you should look at it as my prarthana to you. So this is how he has instilled the entire beautiful idea of bhakti also into us. I mean, I was just doing a chapter with 13th chapter with a group of great spiritual seekers. We were talking about the understanding of the very first sloka he talks about us. Deha, my goodness, the understanding of 3.5 page, he talks about it only on the meaning of what Deha is. How do you understand Deha as a kshetra? And then one who indwells in it as kshetrajna. And then Krishna goes on with it. I was aghast reading Shankara Bhashya on that day because I wanted to share that with my students then. It's phenomenal even to understand with one word the expansion of it, the liberty of language that he takes, with the feeling with which he presents it. All of them makes it a complete a soul who existed here. So with all due respect, because your God today, Swamiji is going to speak a lot and Brahma Prajna is also going to share. Maybe, and I also heard there's going to be a skit on Shankara. I do not know how long I will be able to stay today in this auditorium. But seeing all of you that coming here with a commitment, I'm sure in this room, Shankara is there very much. His grace is flowing, and with his blessing, we shall march forward to have that supreme Advaitic experience. One last line with which I shall end. I think so much time is enough. One of the most, during my school days, that I got extremely hooked to Shankara was Dhanyashtakam that he wrote. We've listened to it a lot of times, even I've given talks on Dhanyashtakam in a various forums. But the way Shankara has dealt it, Tyaktva mamaham dvanda pade dve. Two words, mama aham. My goodness, this man has played with this word, mamaham. Nana apamana, 1 minute, in case I make a mistake, I wrote it down. Nana apamana sadrishaha samadarshinaha kartaram avyam avagamya tadarpitani kurvanti karma paripaka palani dhanyaha. Who are those dhanya? The blessed people. All of us are blessed here. Who are those? One who is able to give up, tyaktva, the first word, he puts it as tyaktva, mamaham padedve. These two words, if you are able to get it out. Along with that, we may have mana, apamana, all of them. Are we able to give up that completely? And therefore, kattaram, one who is able, the agent of the action, and you are able to give up the karma phala. Who is the karma phala dhata to whom you can hand over all of them? If he is able to do that, Shankara claims that we are all blessed. So the entire yardstick and the prerequisite for this, he has given it so beautifully. It's only one of the shloka in Dhanyashtakam. Each verse is a pearl of wisdom. I wish one of the days you must read it only to understand and chant it. And you will feel that he has made all of us very blessed. Thank you for a very patient listening. And my salutation to my great master and to my Guru. Thank you.